We've had 2.5 years of preparation as Terry Venables has tried to get English football to grow up and add sophistication to the traditional power and passion. We've had a 2-week crisis as well as a media storm blew up on the flight back from Hong Kong. Now these were the scenes just a few moments ago as England left their Burnham Beaches headquarters. Plenty of smiles and plenty of supporters as well. So now it's match day and the real journey has started. Destination Wembley as Euro 96 begins, as it will end, at the home of football. England's first challenge against Switzerland is less than 2 hours away. Hello, there are only two places to be this afternoon, here at Wembley Stadium, or enjoying it at home in your favourite armchair, as ITV exclusively brings you live and complete coverage of this, the opening ceremony, and the first match. 400 million viewers will be joining us worldwide. But Jack Charlton and John Barnes are here with me. The atmosphere, gentlemen, is already something really special. Jack, does it remind you at all of 1966?
Not particularly. There's not as much noise as there was then, but then we didn't notice the noise until we came out just before the game. But it's packing up nicely now, and a lot of Swiss waving their flags about. Nice colour. It looks like it'll be a good day.
And John, for you, you're up here with us. We're delighted, but are you a little envious of those lads getting on that coach that we just saw?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Although I'm delighted to be here, as you mentioned. There's nothing can make up for playing, you know. With all the pressures, possible disappointments, could blow up in your face if things don't go right. But if any player had his way, he'd rather be out there on the pitch, and I'm no different. Of
course. Well, also with us from ITV's outstanding team of experts, the country's two leading club managers, Alex Ferguson and Kevin Keegan, whose rivalry in the Premiership battle became, well, shall we call it just a little tense? That's what you might say. Pictures like this of their reconciliation have so far been only virtual reality, but now, happily, the real thing. Alex and Kevin are overlooking Wembley Way with Jim Rosenthal.
Well, nice to see the two of you down here together. And have you kissed and made up?
Well, Alex is very lucky because it's been 20 years ago when I watched Donny Rovers. I used to have one of these and they were made of wood. But for safety standards now, they're made of plastic. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, all right.
He gave me a lovely kiss last night and...
You bought me a drink?
Well, he's never bought me one anyway, so what's new?
But all in the heat at the moment and all forgotten now, and a great championship to look forward to here.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm just saying there to Kevin, the atmosphere round about the stadium is magnificent. It's the best I've known it.
Oh, it really is tremendous, and yeah, it's all forgiven, but of course we're back here for the Charity Shield, so it'll all start again then.
You can go eyeball to eyeball then. I know you've got a little message for us all, something that happened to you earlier today.
Yes, I've got two granddaughters, 10:30 this morning. Incredible, I'm really pleased. And
see what a season you've had then.
Doubles.
You can't go wrong, can you?
I know.
Well done, we'll talk later.
Oh, lovely, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got a lot to look forward to. It promises to be entertaining, even spectacular, but you really never know with these opening ceremonies, do you? Now, England's team, let me get on to that. It's not yet official, this, but this is the 11 that we think Terry Venables has decided to start with, and straight away, it's no David Platt in there, John.
No, I felt that with it being Switzerland and the first game, I think he's going to go for two wide men to attack him. Had it been Holland, then we probably felt, well, we needed an extra midfield player because of the way they play. Platty probably would have played, but I think he's a very positive side. He's gone out to pick two wide men and Gascoigne and in the midfield.
And Jack, the Swiss possibly going to play 2 or 3 up the front, aren't they, as well?
I don't think so. I think the Swiss will come here today and expect to play for a draw, and I think they'll drop an extra man back in the midfield and leave one up front and hope to play England on the break.
John and Jack, I want you to look at this caption now. It's a then and now caption, and I mean, this is extraordinary, isn't it? For instance, total income. Look how that's changed in the intervening years. 2 million then, John, 125 million now. Look at those figures.
Well, that's over 30 years. I mean, things are changing even now. I mean, you could put 1981 when I started playing to now. Things have changed, and I'm sure they're going to change.
You mean you paid better now
years.
than you were in there?
Only slightly.
To be fair,
only
Bob,
slightly.
John's not the one to judge this because he's on half of that anyway. I mean, it's people like me who actually were on £20 a week for playing. And then you look at the figures then, and we got £1,000 and that was after the World Cup. We didn't know we were getting it until after the World Cup final, and we had won it.
It wasn't promised beforehand?
No, nothing was promised beforehand. Nothing at all.
And yet in there, Jack, the team that in fact stopped you from being here in this tournament here, Holland, those guys are on 160,000.
Well, that's That's the way the game goes at the moment. Players have been rewarded for big competitions, and I think that's right. I think it's a big stage, probably the only time some of those Dutch lads might appear at that level and earn that sort of money. Right. I don't envy them at all.
You don't envy them.
I wish I was part of it.
Well, that Dutch bonus certainly makes Alex Ferguson's new deal at Manchester United look pretty paltry, doesn't it? As for winning a double-double, which he's done, well, that's priceless. I wonder what Alex and Kevin Keegan think and make of it all. They're with you.
Well, we've been talking about money and about the differences between 66 and now, but I would think the England players getting ready for this game today, Kevin, money would be the last thing on their minds.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, it is very difficult and probably even wrong to compare 66, 30 years ago we now. I mean, not only has football changed, but the world we live in. If you just look at, there were no computers. I mean, it's been massive change. And I know a lot of people think the players get too much, but there's a big pot there and they should get their share, and I'm all for that.
Alex, they deserve everything they get. They're the star performers, but we're looking for star performances out there from everybody today.
Well, I think when you go into Wembley, I think the atmosphere, the occasion, everything else is forgotten because they're in a competition then. They're against the best players in Europe and they want to do well, and I think everything else appeals into insignificance, really. I think they'll be well up for it.
Thanks to you both once again.
All right.
Yes, thanks Alex, thanks Kevin. They're friends really, honestly. Well, the opening ceremony coming up in a couple of minutes now. The match kicks off after that. Already the atmosphere here it's very special. It's a huge if nerve-wracking occasion. It's all live only here on ITV. It's the biggest day of football for many years.
Going into the first game of the championships, it's important you get a good result. Let's hope we do today.
England versus Switzerland. I hope I'm not too busy today.
It's opening ceremony time. The voice you're going to be hearing on the Wembley PA is that of John Inverdale.
We've been joined now by 7 children carrying the match balls that are going to be used to kick off the games in Birmingham, Leeds, Newcastle, Manchester, Liverpool, Sheffield and Nottingham. And with them, the trophy the teams are going to be competing for, the Henri Delaunay Trophy, brought to us today by 2 young football fans who have a very special interest in the outcome of these championships. Both sons of famous dads. Kasper Schmeichel, son of Denmark's goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel, and Nikolai Laudrup, the son of the Danish sharpshooter Brian Laudrup. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the Football Association, His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, who's accompanied by Lennart Johansson, the President of UEFA, Sir Bert Milicic, Chairman of the Football Association, and Egidios Brown, Chairman of the European Championship Committee. Well, it's now my pleasure to call on our special young representatives of our reigning champions Denmark to hand the coveted Henri Delaunay Trophy back to Lennart Johansson, the President of UEFA. And with the Henri Delaunay Trophy back with the President of UEFA, His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent will now officially declare the final stages of this championship open.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Football Association, I warmly welcome all the participating countries in Euro 96 to England, the home of football. And I now declare open the 1996 European Football Championship Final.
What a spectacular sight for the 76,000 of us here in the stadium and the 400 million watching on television screens around the world. You're seeing 40,000 balloons reaching for the skies. And each and every one bears the logo of the Football Trust, who generously helped fund the staging of this ceremony. So with the England and Switzerland teams about to warm up for our first game, we're bringing the opening ceremony to a close. Incidentally, it's 25 years since England and the Swiss met in this competition. And that was in a qualifying match here at Wembley. It finished 1-1, which may or may not be an omen for this afternoon. This is England's 6th appearance in a European Championship final, and it's the very first for the Swiss. And we mentioned the 76,000 who are here today. Very warm welcome to the 12,000 or so visitors from Switzerland who are here this afternoon. Our thanks must go to His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, the officials of UEFA and the Football Association, our 11 distinguished former England internationals, all the boys who gave us a look back into the history of football, the Wembley school children representing the teams as they're leaving the field now. The Red Devils, the Red Arrows, Mick Hucknall and Simply Red. Gerard Naprus and his Devils horsemen. Tony Ball Associates, the producers of today's opening ceremony. And all the boys and girls.
So the royal party has departed this Wembley pitch. Euro 96, the 10th European Championship, is now officially underway. Well, we're still about 45 minutes to kick off at this moment, so let's just pop back to Jim Rosenthal over Wembley Way. He has an interested but not exactly football-mad visitor with him.
Lee, Saturday Live coming up tonight.
Yep.
You going to enjoy the game?
I'm going to try and get out during rehearsals to watch it, because we'll be rehearsing while the game's on Saturday. But I think what I'll probably have is an attack of the runs this afternoon. So I've got to nip out to the dressing room again, and I'll just sit there for 20 minutes, watch a bit of the game.
So you're actually coming here to just have a little sniff around, and you're not going to see the game?
No, you've just brought me here to torment me, haven't you? It's like, come and see the game, and then go away again. That's what you've done. But yeah, I'm here. I'm getting a bit of the atmosphere behind, as you can hear.
You bought your own fan club here?
No, not that lot.
What's it like to have no hair, they're asking?
Well, I'm just going to go and attack them in a moment, because that's the kind of thug I am.
That's Lee Hurst for you just there. Now, we thought we'd have the teams by this time, but we haven't had them confirmed yet. The only thing we know is that David Platt will not be in the England team. And John, are you surprised in any way by that decision?
Well, I think he's gone for the two wide men as opposed to a third midfield player.
You're talking about Anderton and McManaman now.
If that's the team, but against Switzerland he feels that he can actually get at them with the two wide men, so it's no surprise for this game. Had it been Holland, I would have been slightly surprised.
Yeah, I think the England team, I'm just hearing at this moment, the England team is as we expected, so McManaman and Anderton wide like that. I just want to call up a little statistic about David Platt here, Jack, because it's quite revealing in its way. I mean, there are the firepower as we'll see it today, and the total of 55 caps, 13 goals. With Platt, it's 58 caps, but of course he's scored an enormous amount of goals.
And very important goals. David Platt's always popped up and got the one that was important at the right time. And but you need a midfield player today, which is why Terry's left him out. Platty, it's no good having a player who goes into the 18-yard box all the time and makes these runs and scores your goals if you're getting torn to bits that people are going to run at you through midfield. So I think Terry's been very concerned that his midfield has been anchored. He's had two people in there, and he'll always have two. Gaza might not be the best midfield player, but Gaza will still do a job across midfield and then play going forward. Sheringham occasionally will drop back to fill in, and I think he's made a wise decision. You've not got to let people in centre midfield get at you.
Wise decision, says Jack. Alex?
Absolutely agree with him. Gives them a proper balance, gives them tremendous athletic players in the wide positions, gives them the skill of Gascoigne in the centre midfield area. Ince's can anchor in front of the back four, and as Jack says, Sheringham can drop in there and give them a bit of support, because you don't want torn apart in there. I think that if they're going 3 centre-backs and a 3 midfield, I think Platt would certainly have played, but he's going for a straightforward back four with the 2 wide players. I think he's picked the right team.
Yes, you know all about Paul Ince, of course, Alex.
Yeah, well, it's his best position, sitting in front there. There's none better than getting to players in that area.
We've got confirmation now of the England team. Here it is, as we said, no David Platt in there, and interesting, Gary Neville in there. Do you think he's a young lad, Alex, but I mean, he's done so well for you?
Yes, well, he's 11th cap today. I mean, he's gathered a good bit of experience prior to today. He's not just walking into it for the first time, and as I know, he's got tremendous temperament, so I've no fears about Gary.
Teddy Sheringham, John, he's all this crucial role we're saying. There've been all arguments because Peter Beardsley hasn't been picked, and I think, well, you know, maybe if Sheringham's injured or doesn't play well, Beardsley could have done the role. But do you have any doubts at all on that front?
None whatsoever. You've got Nicky Barmby there. Of course, Peter's a wonderful player, worth his place in any squad, but you know, he's put faith in Barmby, and Barmby can fill in that similar role. Teddy's been fortunate because amongst the 4 strikers with Fowler, Ferdinand and Shearer, he's been the one who's definitely going to play because he plays that role, and Barmby's very similar to him, so I think that Terry feels if Teddy, for whatever reason, he needs to change that situation, you've got Nicky Barmby to do. 21
months, I think it is, Jack, since Alan Shearer scored at international level. We know he's scored about 39 again this season for Blackburn. Are you worried in any way?
I think it's a better position now that he's got Anderton back and he's got 2 wingers. I think then Alan Shearer may get himself into positions where he can attack the ball a little bit more, rather than playing when the ball's played up through the midfield and it drags him to the ball. They've got to play balls into his feet. That's not his game. His game is chasing balls, using his strength, and he's also a very good attacker of the near post, and he's a great header of the ball. So I would think that today we might see him score a goal or 2.
Right, now, the Swiss team. We've had confirmation of the Swiss team. The only surprise, I'm not sure it's a surprise really, Stefan Chapuisat does not play, the Borussia Dortmund player. He's had cruciate ligament problems over the last year. Alex, can I just call you in on Turkel Mats at the front there, because, you know, sad memories of him really, a couple of years ago in the Champions League.
Well, he gave us a bit of a hard time. He's a very, very quick player.
That was with Galatasaray, Alex.
Galatasaray, yeah. of Turkey, yes. At Old Trafford he gave us a problem. He didn't, not so much in his own ground, we seemed to contain him better there. But he's not a consistent player. I mean, he has tremendous pace, a good left foot, but I think England can handle him.
Now we've got pictures out there. There's some of the Swiss players coming out. Some of the England players are already preceded them onto the pitch here. And this is an important time, isn't it, John, all the way round, this early feel and getting rid of the tension.
Yeah, definitely, and you just saw the Swiss playmaker Sforza, a lot rests on his shoulders. He played in Italy for a while at Bayern Munich, and a lot rests on him because, you know, a lot is expected of him. He's a very talented player, and really I think that they're looking to him really to give them an inspiration. But they'll be going through all the nervous tension now, but I mean, they just can't wait for 3 o'clock.
He'll be very disappointed, David Platt there, Jack, won't he? He thought he'd be leaving.
I don't think so. I think David will understand that there is a role for him to play at times and there's a role for him not to play. And Terry's gone for what he thinks he needs his time. And I mean, Platty will be back in before the end of this competition, I've no doubt in my mind. He'll be he'll be one of the subs anyway if you've got one. I mean, you can always put him on at any time if you need a goal, and he's allowed to do it for you. So Alex, I don't think there's any problem there.
Alex, have you any we mentioned obviously the man Turkel Mats there. Have you any other knowledge of the Swiss team particularly?
I think Gras is useful up front. I mean, against Scotland a couple of years back, he gave him a real hard time. And the point about Sforza, that the midfield player, he can also play in the back four. He can play as a defender, he can play centre midfield. He's got a lot to his armour.
They call him the quarterback, don't they? I mean, he's so important to them. We're going to look at him a little bit later, Alex.
I think he's your key player.
Yes. Well, I think there's Jamie Redknapp there, who's obviously part of the squad at the end of it. Alan Shearer doing his little warm-up before they usually get a little warm-up all together. But let's have a look if we can find Tony Adams here, because Tony Adams is the England skipper today. And see if we can find him out there on that Wembley turf at the moment. Can we pick him up? Yeah. Well, let's. I picked out Tony Adams because he has been made captain. He is the Arsenal skipper, of course, and he's also acknowledged as a great leader of his troops.
I'm certainly telling the young lads, you know, not read the papers and don't really watch the TV. You know, try and get your mind away from it. We've got a lot of passion anyway, and we're going to be there and we're going to be going for it on Saturday. So generally, it's just to take it easy and relax and play, you know, play with your head.
He's a noisy boy in the dressing room, John, isn't he, Tony Adams?
Tony, I was first in the England squad with Tony when he was 18 or 19, and he's a born leader, as he has been with Arsenal. If there's one who really is born to go on to being a captain of his country, go on to manage Arsenal, for example, it is Tony Adams. Very infectious.
Well, there is no doubt another key figure, if England are to go far in this tournament, is the goalkeeper David Seaman. There he is. It's useful for him, of course, having his own club captain in front of him. It definitely helps the unflappable 6'4" Yorkshireman.
I know what Tony's little habits are, and he knows what mine are. You know, and that's one of the hardest things about international football, is getting used to players, you know, that you've not played with week in, week out. You know, and they've all got little different habits, you know, of like touching the ball back and things. You know, say like for Stuart Pearce, you know, he's got a left-footed goalkeeper for us. You know, so sometimes he rolls it to my left, you know, forgetting. You know, and it's just little things like that.
Jack, you were saying about David Seaman.
You're saying David Seaman, you look at him there and you think he's a guy fairly wide, not very tall. He's 6'4". I know, yeah. I've not met David until a couple of years ago, and I bumped into him at a dinner in London, and I couldn't believe he was looking down on me. He never looks from a distance that big, but he's an enormous guy, very strong, very quick, very mobile, very agile guy, and very good goalkeeper. Without having that spectacular thing about him, I like goalkeepers who know where they are in the right position at the right time, see what's happening, tell people what's going on. David Seaman, for me, is an extremely good goalkeeper in that sense.
Yeah. In a moment, Alex, I'm going to ask you about a young man with an old head on his shoulders, because he comes from your club, and it's Gary Neville's who we're talking about. Only 10 caps. He's 11th today, as you mentioned earlier. But he is, of course, fresh from that double triumph. He's well prepared, and there are few fears.
I believe England are going to do well, and I've got to believe that, and I do believe that, because I think everybody in the 22 and the coaches and manager have worked over a year or 2 years, you know, exceedingly hard to get to this point, and everything's been for these games during the championships, and we've got to go and prove ourselves now. Yeah, obviously we beat them last time, we're going to be favourites, but things have been said this week like that, you know, by their camp, that it's all but over. I don't think they believe that for 1 minute, and I don't think our players are going to take any notice of that sort of thing.
He always looks so composed to me, Alex, and of course his brother's in the squad as well, Phil. Who's the best of the two?
Well, Gary's a born leader. We've always said that about him from his inner youth team away back. He was captain then for a long spell, and good leadership qualities, good temperament, determined. Philip has got the more natural ability and tremendous balance and pace, but Gary's a good leader. I mean, you couldn't choose between the two. They both have done exceptionally well.
Are there enough leaders in this team, John, in this England team?
I think so. I think they've got an inner belief, a self-belief, coming from the fact they've been together for a while, out of adversity with what's been going on. You know, they've come together with the incident on the plane. I think that they're really determined, and if you look at them, they've got a self-belief that I haven't seen in an England team in a long while.
Jack, you know what it takes to get into a big tournament and have a really good team to do well. Do you see this England team progressing?
That's what we're here to watch and to find out. I would hope so, and I hope the balance is right. What worries me about this England team is the lack of pace. Not the lack of pace, but they've got to learn to pick up the pace of international football in competitive games. They've not had to do that, and I'm worried about Gaza. When he turned up in his blonde hair, it makes him a target, not only for his own players, but for the other players as well. He's easy to pick up because you can see him immediately. I'd rather he had dyed his hair black and disappeared and popped up occasionally. Now he's all over the place and they know where he is.
We know that football is such a topsy-turvy game, rapid changes of fortune, probably none more so than Gareth Southgate. He's got such an important role now in this England defence. He's a very bright lad. And what a year for him, really, leaving Crystal Palace and now enjoying terrific success with Aston Villa.
I think I should probably sit on a beach somewhere in July and think back on what's gone on in the last 12, 13 months and and it probably hit me very strongly then. But at the moment, it just seems to have been a roller coaster that's carried on rolling. And the move to Villa was fantastic for me. I owe them an awful lot, the guys there and the coach and the manager. And really, I feel that that's helped me to develop as a player and as a person, and made me a lot more confident. So that when I've been able to come with the England squad, I've been able to sort of grab the opportunity a bit more.
Do you like Southgate, Jack, as a central defender yourself?
He's one of the modern generation. I mean, he's quick, he reads the game well. He doesn't challenge and tackle from the back. He tends to try and win the ball rather than going... The days of the big lad kicking people from the back are gone now. That's not allowed in international football or any football now. He's the new breed of type of centre-half. The sort that we're going to have to get used to.
Right.
And he can play from the right and will come into the midfield on the odd occasion. Very comfortable on the ball. I mean, totally different in every way to what I was.
Well, there are masses of celebrities at Wembley here this afternoon, including, as we saw earlier, the greatest player ever, as they called him, Edson Arantes de Nascimento. It's easier to say Pele. He's got a few words on England's, well, we think, or England think that he's the greatest player just now, and that's Paul Gascoigne.
Always when they talk about players, I like a player like Paul. And a player who doesn't want to lose, even if they have an exhibition game or training, he fight, he stay there. This is important. They encourage the team. Then I think always player like this, I like my team. Brazil in the last World Cup, in the United States, we have a player almost the same, Dunga, the midfield. Almost the same feeling, you know, some guts. I love a player like that.
He's being compared there to Dunga, and that's quite interesting.
Well, I don't see that similarity. I thought that you know, Dunga prefers to play where Paul Ince plays.
Yeah.
Really.
More Paul Ince than Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah, I thought so. But the thing about Dunga that people underestimate, he hasn't got a great deal of pace. He's one of the best tacklers in the world. Tremendous, and of course, being Brazilian, he's got a good array of talent and skill. But I think Paul's more of a player who'll give England more scope in the last third of the field. I'm hoping that that's the area in which he'll really come to light.
OK, thank you very much for the moment. So the players just half an hour away from the biggest match of their lives. Who'd be in Terry Venables' shoes just now?
It's building up for this. This is the real thing. This is what we've been preparing for. And I think I have the anticipation it's going to be a great tournament with the teams that's in it. We just hope that we're going to be successful. And we're ready to start.
Welcome back to the opening day of Euro 96. These are the scenes around Wembley as a sellout 76,000 fans make their way into and around the stadium. Carnival atmosphere, original outfits. Yeah, important that the kids are here as well. And a few mums, I think. I'm sure there are some, there's one, definitely one, and enjoying herself. A Swiss fan, quite clearly. And a little bit of passion, why not? Football's a passionate game. But here out on the pitch, the two teams are warming up. And John, your thoughts really on Switzerland to cause a real upset today? What have they got to do?
Well, they've left out their main striker, Chapuisat, who won't play, which is, I'm sorry about their warming up, so he's fit, but he's not playing. I think they're going to try and defend, get a point, and maybe catch us on the break with Turkey's pace. But to be honest with you, I think that England have picked a very positive team with the two wide men, which will help share, as Jack mentioned, so I can't see anything but an England victory.
Right, let's just hear then from the man who actually guided the Swiss through their qualifying group. He's now manager of Inter Milan. That's Roy Hodgson.
If you were in charge of the Swiss today, what would you tell the players about how to hurt England?
How much time you got? I think that you don't tell players, you work on things. I mean, obviously the England system, like all systems of play, has great advantages and certain areas where it can be put to the test. But I mean, at the moment, no one's yet found a system of play which is totally foolproof defensively and totally effective offensively. I would make sure the players were aware that the England team will be really keyed up and fired up for the occasion, that it will be a test of character and strength as well as a test of footballing ability. But it's important not to just compete with England on a physical plane, you must also compete with them on the tactical, technical plane.
Well, that's Roy Hodgson. Win or lose Euro 96, we do know, of course, that Terry Venables departs the job at the end, whenever that is, and the new England coach will be Glenn Hoddle. Now we can hear from Glenn now.
Glenn, future England coach, but here today, above all, as an England fan.
Yeah, very much so, Jim. Yeah, looking forward to the game and travelling to the game. It's been a magnificent buzz around, and there's a lovely atmosphere outside the ground. And I'm sure it's going to be the same in, but it's going to be a great day for us, and I'm sure we're going to get a good victory.
The players will appreciate it's a lot cooler today than it has been over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it was a little bit worrying yesterday. The heat was really intense, 31, 32 degrees, and in the stadium would have been very difficult for them. But fortunately it's cooled down a little bit, and it allow us to play perhaps a little bit of a high tempo game, which I'm sure Terry will be looking for. But no, fingers crossed. We're all hoping and praying that we can get off to a good start.
Well, we all wish Glenn well in his new post, and he'll be an interested observer as well as being an ITV observer as well during this tournament. Now, we saw some of the boys of 66 earlier, including our own Jack Charlton, but we can find and see now that famous England footballing knight, Sir Stanley Matthews.
What are your thoughts about this day in general?
I think it's wonderful. Looking over here, I think the atmosphere today is absolutely wonderful, and I feel sure that today, and also that it inspires the England players. They've got the atmosphere, and I think it's going to be great.
The expectation of the country is on the players' shoulders, though, Stan.
Well, isn't that nice? You've got to have responsibility. You don't want to go on the field with no enthusiasm. You've got to have responsibility to bring the best out of you. If you go on the field, you have no responsibility, what do? You play around. But if you've got responsibility and the atmosphere is there, it's going to make such a big difference to the team.
You've got no doubts we're going to see an England win here today, then?
No doubts at all. I feel sure.
He's a wonderful man, Sir Stanley Matthews. I met him yesterday and had a good chat. I think he's in his 81st year now. He's a great, great enthusiast. Still loves the game. Now, the players are still out there, but they'll be going in and back out in about 10 minutes. And that's for real. You'll see it all live only here on ITV. Later in the programme, we'll be offering a pair of tickets for the final in a special Golden Goals competition. But will England be able to find the net today?
Hopefully we can pose our game onto them, get the balls out wide and get the crosses in, and who knows, Alan Shearer might even get a goal, you never know. Funnier things have happened.
And we've really got to be collectively spot on and positive in our own frame of mind and get out there and show everybody in this country that we mean business in this tournament.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. We're just about 15 minutes away now from kick-off here, so it's time to really focus on the two teams and the players who could influence the outcome. Now, let me just show you a few head-to-heads here, starting with the times that they've met. And as you can see, England clear winners on that point, 11 wins to 3, but there is more experience, if you look carefully, on the average caps for the Swiss. So there's slightly advantage to them as regards experience. As regards championship best, well, this is England. In 1968, not many people remember that they finished in 3rd place there. And in the World Cup, well, winners in 66, as we've reminded you many times this afternoon, and 4th place. Got to the semi-finals, finished up with 4th place in Italy in 1990. And this is the Swiss. It's not a wonderful reading, this, really, for the Swiss. And you can see qualified only on 2 occasions out of 9 there. And probably more memorable for the World Cup when Roy Hodgson got them there in America. As for qualifying, they did really well. Switzerland, that's how they finished on top of their group. Now then, we're just minutes away here. What sort of type of game do you think we'll get, Alex, today?
Well, I think that John made the point that Switzerland will try and set a stall where they're not going to lose the match. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, England drawing today, but obviously I think they should win the match. But Switzerland will depend on England running out of patience. And if they do run out of patience and become reckless in their attacking, they could lose the match.
Yeah, you have to be patient, Jack, going back 30 years. I know it's a little bit different, but you drew the opening game in '66.
Got to be patient, and you've got to, I mean, unfortunately, this game for England is a game they must win. They have to win today. I know you're saying...
Bearing in mind that they're going to play against Scotland a week today and then Holland.
Right, they've got Scotland and they've got Holland in the last match, and if they win this game today, they'll qualify. If they don't win this game today, then it's very, very doubtful if they will qualify. They need to they need to win this game today.
Yeah, but you think they will, John? Are you confident? I mean, are you nervous for them? How are your feelings at this moment?
I'm glad I'm up here. No, I mean,
no, you're not really.
I'm not really, no. But I think that it's important for us to get off to a good start. Not just after 90 minutes winning the match, but the first 15 minutes. Set a good tempo to really go out and attack them. Then the crowd will get behind us and the whole country will be behind them. So it's important in the first 15 minutes. Although we have to play patiently, we have to play an up-tempo game.
You think Paul Gascoigne, who we saw there, you think he's matured enough to be calm in these situations rather than that over-the-top Gaza we saw in the cup final one season?
Definitely, but Gaza will start off very quickly. But the thing about Paul Gascoigne now is that he can continue that throughout the whole match, whereas once upon a time he would burn himself out after 60, 70 minutes. But he can last the pace.
Well, look at this. This is the tunnel here. We've talked about this moment really for months. The moment is almost upon us. It's always a very, very special feeling in that tunnel, coming out of it, being in it, into what is really an expectant and highly charged arena. 30 years ago, Bobby Moore led England into an historic adventure here. Today, it's Tony Adams who bears those three lions on the chest with equal pride. It's England against Switzerland, and it's described for you by Kevin Keegan. And first, Brian Moore.
Well, the two sides getting a wonderful reception here in true Wembley weather. As you've heard, it's a good deal cooler than it was yesterday. Almost perfect conditions. And soon the speculation will be over. And with it all the hype and the preparations. And really this is the time we've all been waiting for. Not least the players themselves, you can be sure of that. And at last we shall get boots on ball in earnest. And Euro 96 will be underway. Happily, the scandals and the scares and the scramble for the tickets is over. Let action commence. And after what's been a really excellent opening ceremony, full of vigour and colour and pageantry, very well stage managed. Congratulations to everybody in those terms. What England fans now want, and Terry Venables in particular, want a good, rousing, victorious England performance to cap it all off. Teams to be presented to His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, President of our FA. Alongside him is Leonard Johansson, President of UEFA. But first, the national anthems to be sung by Deanna Simmons of Switzerland and Susanna Clark of England. Beautifully sung and very well respected by their English host, let it be added. My goodness, the expectations of a nation. We're in that singing there somewhere, Kevin.
I would go as far as say that's the best I've ever heard in that anthem sung, you know.
And I would agree. The expectations are sky high here as His Royal Highness is introduced to the Swiss team with their captain there, Alain Geiger. Today winning his 111th cap, the number 5. Very quick, almost cursory handshake. I think the timing allowed for this is something like 3 minutes, and His Royal Highness is very obviously aware of that. The referee from Spain, Manuel Diaz-Vega, who also refereed the Champions League Cup final in Rome a couple of weeks back between Juventus and Ajax. Tony Adams, of course, the England captain, with David Platt on the substitutes bench today. Adams no stranger to this sort of responsibility. He was captain of Arsenal, I seem to remember, at the tender age of 21. Paul Gascoigne with an even brisker haircut. And all the hijinks in Hong Kong and all those allegations on the plane home are behind them, and many suspect may well have bonded them together still more. My word, what a job they've got to do this afternoon. The Dutch coach was saying the other day that it's so open, this tournament, any one of 12 could win. England would certainly be in that 12, and if they get off today to the right start, the roll will be underway, the crowd and the press will be behind them. This is the Swiss side. They left out from their squad of 2 players, very popular ones, Knoop and Sutter. The Everton fullback Mark Hottiger is suspended for this game, but make no mistake about it, there are dangerous individuals in this Swiss side who qualified incidentally at the top of their group. Sforza, the number 10, is a brilliant midfield player. Watch his free kicks as well. Turkil Mas, the number 14, wide on the left, once of Galatasaray, a winner over Manchester United. Grassi, number 9, a tall and really effective striker. No place, incidentally, for the Dortmund striker Stefan Chapuisat. Well, England, as forecast in most places today, they've left out their skipper and midfielder David Platt. He'll take his place on the bench, and Tony Adams, a really passionate leader, will take the captain's armband. Terry Venables really has opted, one supposes, for a flat back 4. With Gareth Southgate alongside the new skipper Tony Adams. Paul Ince and Paul Gascoigne will patrol the centre midfield. Darren Anderton and Steve McManaman out on wide, and Teddy Sheringham and Alan Shearer, they'll be in the front line. In fact, all the substitutes are named, and each coach can actually put 3 onto the field as replacements. So the long wait is almost over now, Kevin.
Yes, as you said before, Brian, everything's been fantastically stage managed here. The one thing you can't do is stage manage a football match. What we really want, and looking at the England side, I see so many leaders in there. Pearce as a leader, Adams as a leader, Ince as a leader. The one man who we really need to lead, as I think, in this tournament is Alan Shearer. Everyone's gone quiet on him, no one's talked about him. But if he comes on fire in this tournament, we'll win it.
He's not scored in 12 games now, not since September 94. But he's saying this week, not for a moment has his confidence wavered, and certainly Venables' confidence in him hasn't wavered. The crowd really rousingly behind England at the moment. And plenty of Swiss here as well. The last check from the Spanish referee. And Euro 96 is surely about to get underway. The first touch for Anderton and for Neville. There's Southgate playing it wide. McManaman, who's got good memories of Wembley. Oh, and it's a great start by him. Crossed inside, Geiger getting it away. A little flick there. Virgil trying to get to it also for Switzerland. Youngest player in their side, out of play. England with such terrific matches coming up in this group. Against Scotland here next Saturday and against Holland on Tuesday week. But make no mistake about it, this really is the vital one for them. A victory and the spirits will soar. The press and the public will get behind them. And Terry Venables and his team will be off to the best possible start. Anything other than a victory, and my goodness, there's work to be done in those two remaining games in the group. Stuart Pearce with the throw for England. Throwing it long towards Terry Shingham, nodded away. And a good shot there by Darren Anderton. And a good early touch for the goalkeeper, Pascola.
Terrific start for England, this. Great long throw. This is the English strength. And although the Swiss player wins it, he doesn't clear it. And, you know, Terry's picked such a positive side. He could have opted for Platinins in the middle and aired on the side of caution. And straight away in the first minute, you see what McManaman is all about. Two players in front of him, seemingly nowhere to go, Brian. Straight past him. And that was just the start England wanted and that McManaman wanted.
In any tournament, the first and last matches are the most important ones. It's crucial for England to get off on this positive start and to keep it going. Anderton and Sheringham caught fractionally offside. The Swiss, remember, they've never won in England. They've only beaten us once since 1947, lost 3-1 here last November. But you also have to remember they qualified well for the World Cup of '94, and they led their group for this tournament here. There are no mugs.
There's certainly no mugs, Brian. They've had a little bit of...
That's their manager, sorry, Arthur George, with the manicured moustache there. Not the most popular man in Switzerland at the moment, because he's left out 2 or 3 very popular Swiss players, a Portuguese and a canny one. Sorry, Kevin.
Well, I was going to talk about him anyway, Brian, but what I was going to say is he doesn't seem to favour the real stars, and I think at international level it's dangerous if you don't.
Shearer bringing Neville into it. And this is Sforza. He does need to be watched. Gascoigne. Foul on him, free kick. Adams. Pearce. Here's McManaman. Anderton has come streaming to this side of the field, but the pass missed him. Up towards Grassi. Adams will need to keep an eye on this tall number 9 of Switzerland. He's a tall lad, and he's got a terrifically good leap on him. Neville enjoying these early stages, but going pretty heavily there. Shearer over on the far side. Paul Ince hasn't yet got into it to box it yet. Loses out to Sforza there. Turki Yilmaz getting it back eventually to Shearer from Neville. Shearer. Sheringham. Gascoigne. A bit of space ahead of him. Good determination there by Gascoigne. Can he find Teddy Sheringham? Got that right on the edge, but there was no foul.
Great footwork there from Gascoigne, and he rode his luck a little bit. And actually, I thought it was a foul, this, but he just knocks a little ball into Terry. He gets a touch. Maybe he stumbled over it.
Fitzsimmons ball. A good ball by Pearce. Oh, he's shaken off Adams. Turkelmas with a chance now for Switzerland. Oh, goodness. As well for England that Gareth Southgate got in there. For once, Turkelmas got the better of Adams, and just for a moment, that looked mighty dangerous indeed.
Well, there lies the danger. One ball, he's very, very strong here, and unfortunately just can't get it round, and Southgate gets a really good block in.
Scored a couple of times. Alex Ferguson will remember this, I'm sure, with sorrow against Manchester United when he was playing for Galatasaray at Old Trafford.
I was pleased to hear that Alex Ferguson got the second in the derby. He's seems to have gone first in everything else this year. Maybe his luck's going down a little bit.
McManaman killed beautifully. Gascoigne's on a run for him. Gascoigne was also very well spotted by Bonvin. More notes for half-time from the England manager. He's been in a very relaxed frame of mind all week, and indeed so have the players down at Bissam Abbey. Adams won that well enough against Turkelmas. Given away to Fergal. This is Vega. Towards Grassi. This is Geiger. Usually plays as a central defender, more as a holding role in the midfield today. Sforza, he's the one you need to watch. Trying to get Turkelmas away. Adams was quick there. Ince lost out badly. Suddenly they're in behind us again with Turkelmas played inside. And once again, Gareth Southgate to the rescue for England. Once again, we've looked anything but effective in deep in defence, and could have got it caught out again. Turkelmas again, the man at the centre of it. Schwarzer with the corner. Vega's up there, big defender, has to be watched. Henshaws as well, but a safe catch for Seaman. I'm slightly worried about us in defence there. Can I put a point to you that the thing that concerns me a little bit is that without the likes of Pallister and Mark Wright and Rob Jones and Lasso, it's not a totally tried defensive unit playing together often enough.
Yeah, for sure. I think Terry Venables would have liked everyone fit, and possibly this would not have been his choice back four. But the one thing that worries me slightly is the fitness of everybody. You know, Adams hasn't played all the time. Southgate hasn't. They've had interrupted season, especially in the end. So they're going to have to sort their act out. But a little warning early on, and maybe that's a good thing.
Grassi beaten that time by Adams. Gascoigne. Annington's gone way down the right. He's switched wings for the moment with McManaman. McManaman's way over on the right there. This is Neville. Playing it short from McManaman. Shearer's waiting. Sheringham's waiting. In vain.
He's a nightmare for defenders, McManaman, because he just runs at you. And the defenders don't like that. And that's why I'm so pleased that Terry Venables decided to play him today.
Shearer breasting it down, and Vega getting it away. England's throw.
We talk about the England back four there, Brian, but also the Swiss back four is very young, very inexperienced.
There's Henshaws, one of the youngsters. He's only 21
in Germany.
Good long throw. Sheringham tried to make something of it. Swiss didn't quite know where it had landed. Southgate with the throw. She's going to leave it for Neville. Anderton getting in behind Quentin. It's done well here. Gets a corner. season riddled with injury for Darren Anderton might have a glorious conclusion here. Here he is with a corner for England. His timing has been perfect. Sheringham on the volley. And another corner.
There's that incredible corner that Spurs do, where Sheringham always gets on the end of it, Brian, and you don't know quite how.
It's not a corner. He's given a free kick to the Swiss.
What a great season he's had for England as well. You know, I mean, it's really, he's took the place. Peter Beardsley probably was a lot of people's favourites, but he has played well in that position for England, putting some great performances, Teddy Sheringham.
Seaman getting it away. Up to Sheringham, beaten in the air quite comfortably by Vega. Ince. Shearer. Gascoigne. Hanneman on this side now. Gascoigne. Space here for Gary Neville. Towards Darren Anderton, well beaten though by Vega. Flag was up in any case. You talk about Sheringham, and indeed his form has been excellent, but we still lack a dominant goal scorer. For all his excellence, Sheringham in 15 caps has scored only twice. And Shearer, as we're saying, hasn't scored since September '94. We do lack a really dominant goal scorer.
Yeah, and strangely enough, the Swiss have them in Chapuisat and certainly Knupp, who they've left out, whose goal records are tremendous, and they've decided not to play them as well. So, you know, both sides lack at the moment a dominant goal scorer.
Adams. Up goes Sheringham. Anderton. Sheringham. Benchos covering. Good long throw, again towards Sheringham. Geiger. Knocked back by Southgate, flicked on by Neville. Picked up by Ince. Anderton. Driven towards Shearer. As far as the betting's concerned, Alan Shearer's 4-1 to score the first goal. Ladbrokes, the official bookmakers for Euro '96, told me that England are 6-4 on to win today. Switzerland 9-2. 15-8 the draw. They reckon something like £80 million will be wagered on this Euro '96. £20 million more than we wager each year on the Grand National. Free kick to the Swiss. Schwarzer of Bayern Munich with the free kick. Takes all their free kicks, but he'll become more dangerous as the kicks get nearer the England penalty area. Turkilmas. It's their throw, and they've taken it quickly. Schwarzer, Turkilmas. Goal kick.
He won't be pleased with the final effort, but this is one player I think we really have to watch out for, Turkilmas. As you said, Alex knows him quite well from his Galatasaray days, and he's got a superb left foot. Unfortunately there, he didn't show the best of it, but he certainly is a dangerous player, and he's a very experienced player too. And like you said at the start, people like Southgate, they've not got tremendous experience at this level.
Foul on Shearer, England's free kick. By Henchos. Gascoigne behind it. Choice of Gascoigne or Pearce from this sort of range, but it's going to be Pearce driving this one, left-footed.
One thing Terry Venables always works well on this set piece is everyone expecting a cross into the box because we're seen as being very dominant in the air. But it wasn't a million miles away, just had to keep it down, did Stuart Pearce.
Switzerland throw. Was Bonvin beaten there. It's McManaman. Oh, he's pulled back there by Virgil. That's going to be a yellow card for him, without any doubt. Well, how he could not give a yellow card for that, I find that incredible.
If you remember, Brian, the first one in the European Cup finally did the same thing, quite a bad tackle, but that has got to be a yellow card, and whoever's assessing him in the stands, and I'm sure there is somebody, they won't be happy with that. A chance to really set the rules down early on.
Gascoigne with the kick. Gets it back again. Brings Stuart Pearce. He would love that to have come straight onto his left foot. Free kick to the Swiss. The other thing is that so often the opening game in tournaments, as you well know, Kevin, is what set the disciplinary standards. You know, if anything, you have to watch your step more in the opening games than in any other game.
Well, there was the perfect opportunity for Mr. Vega. Yeah.
And I found when we watched him together in the Champions League final at Ajax Juventus in Rome that he was a very fussy individual.
Yeah, like I said, though, he didn't give the first one, and then he really clamped down after that. And you know, I'm sure McManaman said to the fullback there, "Hey, we changed the shirts after the game at international level." Of course, the big difference it makes, Brian, is that if McManaman starts to run at him, having had a yellow card after, what, 15, 16 minutes, whatever, it's another ball game, as you say. And, that's where it's really disappointing from our point of view.
Jenneret, the young fullback, who's been brought into the side. His second cap. Neville. So a quarter of an hour or so, Kevin. England looked comfortable without looking frightening.
Yeah, they got over the couple of minor scares defensively, where they really didn't look completely in control. But I feel that the areas they must come out to is McManaman. You saw there, just him running at someone caused him problems, and he really should have been booked, as we said. And Anderton on the other side. And then the quality of the ball in has obviously got to be better than it has been so far.
Adams with a header. Geiger. Ince. Up goes Gascoigne. Ince picks it up. Little flick through there. Finds Sheringham. Sheringham to McManaman. This is better for England. Played on nicely. There goes Ince, roaring on, and Vega gets across.
Excellent defending there from Vega, who's got the same name as the referee, but I don't think he's any relation, Brian.
He's from Spanish parents, though. Pearce. Quentin. Little touch there, a good one there by Turkiomas. They all said the referee, an advantage played as Bonvin finds Turkiomas. Grassi waiting in the middle. That's a corner conceded by Gareth Southgate.
This is going to be the pattern of the whole game, I feel, Brian. We're going to have a lot of possession. We're going to be in control for long periods, but we're going to have to be very, very careful on the break. The Swiss are just looking to break on us, and of course that will last for 90 minutes. With the way this coach plans the games, it's just perfect for him.
Turkiomas with the corner. Bonvin on the goal line. Henshaw's very active. There was Henshaw's with a little flick, and Schwarzer heading it over the top.
He's disappointed, Brian, that he didn't keep it down. It's on his right foot. Strikes it well enough. He was always going high, wide,
young midfielder is Sforza. Johan Cruyff, immensely impressed by him, he was saying a week or so ago. Plays for Bayern Munich, as I said. Seaman gets it away. Look on by Sheringham. Sheringham took a bang on the, or Shearer took a bang on the head. Pierce first to react. Ball out of play, an England throw. Gascoigne. Heading it through to Alan Shearer. Now Sforza hits the long ball. Aims towards Turkil Mas. Taken out by Neville. Adams. Pierce. Glorious afternoon now. Wembley weather they call it. Ince. Neville's cross. Going towards Shearer. Might come loose for Gascoigne. Will he get there first? Can he get a throw? McManaman. Oh, he's done well. Another England throw. Pierce. And another England throw. McManaman, such quick feet he's got as well, hasn't he? Just tried to do a little too much there, just inside the box.
I think if he's got a fault sometimes, he doesn't whip the ball in early enough when he gets these positions. But I mean, we're nitpicking there because he's got everything else.
Here he is now, McManaman. Oh, just pushed away there. Banged in again. Good save by Pascola from Gary Neville.
That's just a tremendous strike. But again, it's McManaman who makes the chance, and he forces the goalkeeper to make a save. And it would be a surprise that he beat him with his shot, but certainly, you know, the keeper had to be at his very best, and for the rebound, for the shot from Neville, tremendous goalkeeping.
England's corner, looking for a goal and needing a goal. Geiger getting it away, not the best delivered corner. Gascoigne, Neville again, who's never scored for England. Gascoigne, rounding Grassi. Easy little run, finds Shearer, finds Ince. Darren Arrington's outside of him. Oh, it comes through now. And that's the goal for Alan Shearer. It's been a long time coming for him, but it's all sweetness now. England ahead. Alan Shearer the scorer.
Brian, he's not the most emotional boy in the world, but you can see what that meant to him. And what a tremendous strike. I mean, he's beat the goalkeeper at his near post. Beautiful ball into him. Look at the power in this.
Was there a hint of offside there?
Possibly. Certainly in the old days, as we say, there was a man in offside. I think it was Sheringham. Whether Shearer was actually off when the ball was played, I've got my doubts.
I'm so pleased for him because he's kept his head so well when times have not been good. He's not scored since September '94, remember, 12 games ago. For all that tremendous success at Blackburn, with 37 last season, Terry Venables stuck by him, and my goodness, he's paid Venables back well now. Well done, Alan Shearer, 1-0 England. Switzerland's throw. Here you see it again.
It's very difficult to say he's offside, but look at the power here. And it's probably just even clipped the inside of the post. I mean, look at it again in slow motion.
Ince with the overhead kick. Quentin. Southgate gets it away. Ince again. hit long. Shearer chasing, he'll chase everything. I have to say, my co-commentator just before the start said, I've got a funny feeling this might be Shearer's tournament. Yeah?
Yeah, well, he's a great player. I mean, despite his lack of goals for England, I don't think anyone's ever doubted that he should lead the attack. You know, that people have had a little pop at him about it, you know, because the goals have dried up.
Yellow card for Gary Neville.
There we go, Brian. That's exactly what he did in the European Cup final. He didn't take the first one, but straight away now every player knows anything challenged late and anything untoward, he's going to get that yellow card out.
So a free kick for the Swiss. It was a tackle from behind and they won't wear it. And there's no reason why they should. Free kick towards Grassi. Good leap by Seaman. 7 clean sheets. He's held out of 10 under Terry Venables. Now Sheringham. Here's McManaman. Gascoigne. Shearer losing out. Ince retrieves it. Adams with space on the far side for Neville. Southgate. Ince once more. Vega. Vega. Vega the captain. Sforza. Bonvin. Yeah, the English fans are in good form at the moment. Grassi. Play on. Ince says OK. Finds Paul Gascoigne. McManaman straying on this left touchline again, taking on Jeanneret. Again trying to hold up McManaman. McManaman finding Gascoigne. Gascoigne tumbles. That's a free kick. A yellow card.
Just the sort of distance that Gascoigne will fancy, you know, what, 25 yards on his right foot. I can remember him scoring a great goal in was it a semi-final here, Brian, against Arsenal? Was that?
Yeah, the goalkeeper at the other end was in goal that day as well.
That's right. He'll be glad he's not facing this one.
Pearce might fancy it, but I've got a feeling Gascoigne might look for a moment of glory here. England 1 up. The Wall reluctant to go back.
You'll need to speak 4 languages to talk to this Swiss side. German, French.
Is it Gascoigne? It is. Straight into the Swiss wall. Here's Neville. Quentin. This is Virgil. Offside against Turcomas. Oh, it almost given it away there. It was Gascoigne. Retrieved by Adams. Quentin. Geiger. Gascoigne. Shearer. On you go, Gascoigne. This will test his stamina. And the ball inside wasn't a bad one, but it was aimed towards Sheringham, but Vega gets there first.
You know, there's two schools of thought on how the game could go now, and everyone will have a different opinion, but the Swiss are not happy campers ever since Roy Hodgson left, you know, and another goal for England now, and just anything could happen here today. Another goal before half-time. Because I don't think they're all believing the new coach, you know. I mean, little bits we've heard, and certainly the fans are not keen on him, and he's had a hard time, but he bases a lot of stuff on defence, and they're 1-0 down. So
he's had a very hard time. I was in Switzerland last weekend when they played the Czech Republic, and because he'd left out these two favoured players, the whole arena was festooned with banners of Georges out. They wanted him out.
And his track record's very good wherever he's been.
Very good.
Brian.
In Portugal as the national coach, in Paris Saint-Germain where he won a championship in France, and also he won the European Cup with Porto. McManaman.
I would be just telling Stuart Pearce every time he gets it, just roll it into McManaman. Let him get on with it.
Shearer, an overhead, picked up by Anderton. Up goes Ince against Quentin. And the free kick conceded by the fullback. And he's a tough one. He's a real passionate player, is Quentin. Played in the '94 World Cup, very experienced. And Pearce saying, get back to Swart, so we want to take this free kick. We want you back 10 yards. And this might be a Stuart Pearce special. And if it is, Marco Pascola will know all about it.
Well, they've really mixed up the free kick so far, Brian, so, you know, expect anything here. But certainly the thing that's pleased me from them, they've made the keeper make saves most of the time. And while you're doing that, you've always got a chance.
Well, it looks as though Pearce is winding up something ferocious here. Straight at the keeper.
Doing exactly what he's got to do, Brian, make the keeper make a save. And that wasn't as easy as Pascola made it look. Just bounced before him, but great hands from the keeper.
Now Vega. Trying to find Turki Yilmaz, but finding touch instead.
Here's the free kick, Brian. All right, it's bouncing, but still it's got to be stopped. And look at Sheringham chasing it in there and Ince. Good goalkeeping. You would have been surprised had he not held it, to be fair.
Forgive me if you know, but of course there are 4 groups of 4 in this European Championships. 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. The other teams in England's group are Scotland and Holland. This is the opening game of this group. England leading 1-0 thanks to Alan Shearer. And here's McManaman. Well, it's England's ball, a corner.
Young Sebastian Generet is having a problem with McManaman. There's no doubt about that, Brian.
Ince. Yes, he's a youngster that didn't really... I mean, if Mark Hottiger had not been suspended, he wouldn't be playing, obviously.
That would have been an interesting confrontation, because Mark Hottiger has got a lot of pace. He's a very, very good fullback, as all the Newcastle United fans know, and now Everton fans. But this young lad, he's having a little pull at his shirt, and he's had his problems, and he's going to have a lot more problems before the final whistle goes in this game, I feel.
Fowler waiting, wondering if his opportunity might come. Pearce. Shearer. In towards Sheringham. Anderton takes it on. 4, 5 red shirts around them. They certainly believe in defending in numbers. As Kevin was saying, Arthur George, their coach, has got a very cautious nature. Looking to break out and to make good the goal that Alan Shearer has scored against them. This is Geiger. Quentin. Ince. trying to touch it on for McManaman. Genere to Vega. Now Sforza. Geiger. Adams. Foul on him by Turkilmas. The Swiss form leading up to this tournament hadn't been really a great deal to write home about. They drew in Luxembourg and they were beaten in Vienna by Austria. They did beat Wales 2-0, and then last weekend they lost 1-2 home to the Czech Republic. The crowd will love that bit of vintage Gascoigne there. The pass that found McManaman, played in there by Pearce, and well, Shearer was up there again.
That is a terrific cross from Stuart Pearce, and you know, I think Shearer will be disappointed he didn't hit the target. Close enough, mind you, Brian.
But a lovely little touch from Gascoigne that got it all away. It was
reminds you of a chap called Diego Maradona who did it
right.
once and knocked the ball far, and I could kick it with my right foot, I think.
Southgate hasn't missed anything in defence, and we might yet be grateful for the 2 very good interceptions he made in the opening minutes.
He's like an insurance policy, Brian, isn't he? He's got the pace and he reads it well, and he's...
Genere's cross in. There's a man again, Southgate. Now that's a free kick. Conceded by Pearce on the edge of the box. Now let's see, because Sforza, I tell you, is an excellent free kick specialist. And it'll be the number 10, I figure, who might well have most to say about this. On the other hand, it might be the number 14.
He's got a beautiful left foot. He's Turkilmas. He really has. He might be the number 9 as well, Brian.
Yeah.
He won't be the number 9, Brian. He's walked into the wall.
Well, whoever it is, I hope David Seaman can see what it is. Now they want Gascoigne back. Sforza's orchestrating the whole thing. He's just told Fergal to get into the wall and make things a little bit difficult. Turkilmas, it came off the wall, and it's gone for the corner. Guarantee before the day's out, though, you'll see 1 or 2 swinging free kicks from Sforza from that sort of position. Turkilmas then with the corner. England must defend well with resolution here. Turkilmas, it's a dainty little chip towards the far post. Goal kick.
McManaman's had a very bright start to the game, as we've already said. Anderton, on the other hand, has struggled to get in the game. And the beauty of playing these 2 for Terry Venables is Anderton's just as much at home, in fact, probably more at home, out here on the left, just like McManaman is, going inside on the weaker foot of the fullbacks. And, of course, McManaman's happy on the right. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing them switch, you know, and just keep each other in the game.
At the moment, it's a free kick for the Swiss. Vega. Contar's made a break, collided heavily there with Gary Neville. Given away badly by Anderton. Picked up here by Southgate. Anderton again, couldn't keep it in play. Bit of untidy play there by England. Here's Sforza again. Benchos, young man from Hamburg. Picked up by England's captain. Now Adams coming out. Gascoigne alongside him. Pearce taking possession. Here's Gascoigne. Will he take on Fergal? Fergal's backing off him. Plenty of red shirts are back. But he finds Darren Anderton. crossed by him. High passes Teddy Sheringham and doesn't reach Steve McManaman. Well, Pearce claiming that he was backing into, that Grassi was backing into him. Pearce had his hands up and certainly wasn't holding him. The free kick was given nonetheless. Oh, nice dummy there by Turkomaz. He's done Pearce here. And it's against the crossbar. Knocked in again, and Ince will get it away. The referee got in the way of Fergal, I think it was, who came in. But that was a great piece of play by Turkomaz, who completely outwitted Stuart Pearce. And England saved by the crossbar.
Oh, a real let-off there for England, Brian. I mean, it was easier to score. I mean,
there were two there to do it.
Oh, yeah, but it was easier to score than do what he did. But he made such good contact, and it just went straight onto the crossbar. But that was a real let-off. But we deserve to be ahead. But football doesn't always give you what you deserve.
There's an unhappy man.
I know how he feels, you know. I mean, it happens.
It's Sforza now. Turkomaz again. That time Anderton was right back there to help out Shearer. Gascoigne's gone on ahead. Vega. Fergal. Quentin. We deserve to be ahead, but not by much.
No, I mean we've just edged it really. But apart from the opening 2 or 3 minutes, we were a little bit shaky. We've been much in control of this game.
Towards Turkomaz again. He's going to be a problem this afternoon. Oh, that was a good challenge again there by Tony Adams, full of fire and passion there, getting before Grassi. Gascoigne looking for the long ball, looking for Alan Shearer. Battle he's having there. That's a free kick. Given against Quentin, and Quentin's going to get a yellow card.
You know what he's saying there, Quentin, and I know exactly what he means. Initially, possibly, he was fouled by Shearer, but this guy is the best in the world at jumping up and looking like he's getting fouled, when sometimes it is the other way. But he fought for that, he scrapped for that, and then in the end we've got a free kick in another dangerous position. Be a great time for another goal, Brian. It really would, from an English point of view.
Last couple of minutes before half-time. They mean business. It's Stuart Pearce who's gone away out to that side. Shearer's waiting. Sheringham's in there. Ince is in there. Adams is up from the back. Anderton's in there too. Plenty of activity there as the ball gets floated toward Teddy Sheringham. And Sheringham again. No! Kicked off the line. The flag was up. The whistle had gone. But twice it looked as though Sheringham had a golden opportunity to score, but it stays 1-0.
You can't believe how good a free kick this one is, and the keeper's done everything he's had to, but it was a real chance.
And then this, offside.
Yeah, he just couldn't quite get his feet together. I don't know if it was offside.
He was offside.
No, there's a guy on the line coming out. What a great free kick. A lot of movement, a lot of work, and then in at the far post, an absolute free header, Teddy Sheringham.
Bonvin now. Gascoigne. Coming to the last minute of the first half now. Gets it back from Shearer. The little touch for Sheringham. Back to Gascoigne again. Crowd enjoying this. Flicking it wide for Anderton. They're enjoying this as well as Gascoigne goes on and England get a corner.
That's Paul Gascoigne at his very best. Never being out the game there, picking it up on the halfway line and keeping himself in the game. And he hasn't set the world on fire in this first 45 minutes, but a lot of quality has come when he's had the ball.
Adams up there again at the near post. Sorry, Cohen. Plenty of England men up, just two are back, Pearce and Neville. And look at that, a free header from Gareth Southgate. And an infringement in the 6-yard box, giving the Swiss, to their evident relief, a free kick.
The Swiss just cannot handle us from set pieces. The movement again, another free header. They're queuing up, trying to knock it in at the far post. They really are, from the free kicks and set pieces, they really are causing absolute mayhem out there.
Still just 1-0. As we come to the end of the first 45 minutes of Euro 96. Good, enjoyable game with a lot of good movement in it. And what's more important, of course, the solitary goal being scored by an Englishman. Foul on Turkilmas. Sforza will take it. And quickly. Finding Geiger. Sforza again. Oh, Pearce in quickly. Spotted that. Shearer. If only he can get the ball this way towards McManaman. But Henchos, the whistle had gone for a free kick to England. Quite happy, I would have thought, Terry Venables, with the first half.
I would think absolutely delighted. Goal up, pretty much in control, 1 or 2 scares. But he'll be more pleased with the time they spent on the set pieces as well, because they really have come off almost every time they had a free kick or a kick out wide. They've caused problems for the Swiss.
Gascoigne, player of the year in Scotland, remember. Neville, Anderton. Fontaine, challenged by Ince, beaten by him. Spanish linesman says no. Foul by Paul Ince.
Paul Ince telling him in perfect Italian, even though linesman's Spanish, what he thought of him there. The will to win in this England side is the thing I've been impressed with in the first half. Adams, Pearce, Ince really getting stuck in for the 50-50 balls when they've been there to be won, and they really want this game.
Sheringham, lovely control there, but he hit it straight at Geiger, or Henchos rather. Cleared though by Pascolo. Free kick to the Swiss. Geiger, the captain.
Geiger doesn't look really that comfortable in that midfield role, Brian. You know, I mean, he is more a defender. He has played there before, and I know, but he's now in his 30s. He's probably more used to playing at the back. There's that incredible miss. They may well live to regret that.
Well, they will as they go in at half-time. Grassi could have made it 1-1. As it is, it's Alan Shearer who's made it 1-0 for England. And so far, so good in Terry Venables' quest for glory in Euro 96. England 1, Switzerland 0 is the half-time score at Wembley.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. Euro 96 is well and truly underway, and England lead Switzerland 1-0 in the opening game. John Barnes, Jack Charlton, Alex Ferguson with me. No walkover it's been, Alex, has it?
No, the Swiss have set the stall of the three in the midfield and made it difficult in the central areas to penetrate. But they have created some good moments, particularly through Steve McManaman. He's exposed the right-hand side of the Swiss team, and they haven't really contained him. And Paul Gascoigne, as the game has gone on, has started to get a bit of room. Just when I felt that Switzerland were starting to settle into a good pattern and containing England and looking a bit confident, they got the goal at the right time.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at that goal, John. It came in the 22nd minute. He finished it really well. I mean, we talked about the fact that he hadn't scored for so long.
Yeah, Gascoigne actually started it by beating a player, playing Ince, then Ince committed a couple of players and played a great ball through to Alan Shearer, who we thought was offside, but on the time...
Onside, not offside, John, yeah. Level, yeah?
Gascoigne really started it, and this was a weight off Alan's shoulders when this went in, but he confidently struck it away. Excellent strike, great goal.
Yeah. It was just the right time, Jack, when there was a little bit of collywobbles around.
Yeah, the game was starting to settle down, and you're thinking when England going to make a chance and when they're going to get a chance to score a goal, and then all of a sudden it happened because Gaza suddenly started to run from midfield with the ball, which he hadn't been doing up to that time. He'd really been flying the ball to whoever faced him and changing the play and just being a midfield general. Yeah. But then all of a sudden he decided to settle on the ball, go past the player, and once you start to go at the back four, things can open out and happen. Yeah. And exactly that happened, and so it was a nice little ball through. I thought at that time he was offside.
I think he was level. I think Vega played him on, Jack.
Well, it looks, certainly from the angle of the shot on the camera there, he was offside.
All right. Well, Turkle, Mats, we talked about Alex, the man who played against you, and goodness me, this was close, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, Stuart Pearce, a lot of experience, Stuart, he's bought that dummy, isn't he? What a miss. Oh, dear me.
It is a miss, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bad miss.
Very, very lucky.
And then the next Swiss player is impeded by the referee going for the second ball there. So they've been a bit unlucky there, Switzerland, but there's a one threat. And then Turkelmeyer's pace is a threat to England.
Sheringham, at the same time, and we've picked that one out because obviously it was so close, but I mean, Sheringham had a good chance at the far post, Jack, didn't he? The goalkeeper made a good save with his feet.
What he should do, Terry Sheringham here. Everybody's run to the near. He's come round the back and he's headed the ball down, which is where you really must head the ball. The goalkeeper was a bit fortunate that the ball bounced, hit him on the foot, and it was cleared. Here, this was given offside. But the guy's come back into the play and he wasn't offside.
We talked so much at the beginning of the potential battle between Gaza, Gascoigne and Sforza. Now, there was an audacious piece of skill that we've got to see again, because this is Paul Gascoigne at his best, John.
Yeah, judging by the first half, I don't think it's a contest. I think Gaza really has run the show. Sforza, with the three in midfield, is able to get on the ball, but I don't think he's done anything much. Gaza has affected the game. He's played a few 1-2s, he's gone forward, played people in, he's had a really good game, whereas Sforza has been taking the easy way out. He's getting it off the back four and making simple passes. But they're looking for Turkelmaz all the time with his pace. I think he's the only threat. Every time he gets the ball, it looks as if he can do something.
You really think he's that? He's...
Well, he's the only threat. I think they're coping with him quite well, but I don't think they've got anything else apart from him.
All right, thank you for the moment. Well, here we are, Terry Venables, England, halfway through the opening paper of their Euro 96 examination. Craig Brown, Scotland, in the same group, of course, begin on Monday against the Netherlands. This report from Gabriel Clark.
Base camp for Scotland is about as English as England can get. But the decision to locate near Stratford-upon-Avon in Shakespeare country has only galvanised their wonderful move. Few sides will stay in more impressive surroundings than Scotland's Country House Hotel. Perhaps even better, their manicured training ground has been loaned free to the squad by a Scottish businessman. And just to give their preparation that final cutting edge, Craig Brown has allowed the training ground sponsors to put up cardboard cutouts of the England players. So Gaza, Shearer and the rest are now there to be shot at on a daily basis.
The most important thing is qualifying through this group. We've never managed to achieve it before. I've had a few goes at it myself, and it's always been hard luck stories.
Wimbledon are written off every year, every season, with so-called less talented players, which is, I've heard, labelled against us, and they tend to do not bad.
Brown will not reveal his side to face the Dutch until the last moment, but the realist is becoming cautiously optimistic, partly because of the excellent preparation, partly because he saw Holland against Ireland last Tuesday. Dennis Bergkamp scored in a 3-1 win. But Holland looked vulnerable in defence and will be missing Patrick Kluivert and Danny Blind. Scottish timing could have been a lot worse.
Well, we wish Scotland all the best, of course. But here at Wembley at the moment, England are 1 up against Switzerland. We've got the 45 minutes coming up after this break. Hello again from Wembley Stadium. That's a shot from our airship high above this wonderful old ground. And, well, opening games are notorious for being 0-0, but we've got a goal. Thankfully, we've got a goal. Jack, you disputed it. I want you to clear it up. Because
yeah, I disputed it. In fact, I wrote on my sheet here, offside, the moment that it was done.
But have a look here. The moment Paul Ince plays it, Jack.
The moment he plays it, Alan Shearer is onside because he's level. And the ball's on its way there, level.
So
both him and Sheringham were onside.
And then the great finish at the end.
Yeah.
For those of you who've missed it, that was the goal in the 22nd minute of the game that's put England ahead there. John, just you told me tactically you thought at times Ince and Gascoigne were being a little bit outnumbered.
I thought they were having problems because they're having 3 midfield players who play very narrow against our 2 because McManaman and Anderton are wide. But what that does when we get the ball is that enables, not so much Anderton because the play's been down the left, that's enabled McManaman really to get at the full-back, and really he's exposed. He hasn't had much help.
OK, well, I think we can hear from the England coach, Terry Venables. He's with Gary Newbon.
Terry, this is the real thing. Very good start. Alan Shearer scoring at last. What was your mind focused on with the players at half-time?
Well, basically, we're having too many touches of the ball in our defending third. We should be sharing the ball out a lot quicker to keep moving their players out of areas we wanted to move. And we're a bit static there, but it came a little bit. We had 1 or 2 good moves and worried them a bit on a free kick and a corner, and that, I think, might have disturbed them. So hopefully it'll set the pattern for a better.
Might just have to watch Turkelmaz a bit. There was one let off for you.
That's absolutely right. He's sharp. Very, very good player.
But so far, so good.
OK.
Welcome back to the commentary box. Brian Moore here with Kevin Keegan. Terry Venables looking chirpy and sounding chirpy enough. And indeed, there's a lot to be pleased about in that first half performance, Kevin.
I think he's absolutely delighted with the way it's gone. OK, they had a little bit of luck at the end with the chance that Grassi missed, but generally I feel they've always had the upper hand here. And he'll be delighted, and he will love to finish by winning this championship. What a terrific way to go out, if you like, and that's what he wants desperately, I'm sure.
Well, England have played 19 under Terry. They won 10 and lost only 1. That was against Brazil here last summer, but of course this is the first time it's been in a major competition, and of course for him the last time. He retires from the international scene at the end of this one, and Glenn Hoddle takes over. Grassi, where the header. And Gary Neville with the clearance, straight to Quentin. This is Bonvin to Geiger. Bringing in Vega. Tall defender who loves to get forward for free kicks. And my goodness, he gets forward even without free kicks, and that was all of 35, nearly 40 yards, and just for a moment it had Seaman scrambling across his goal.
Outrageous distance to shoot from, but it's close, it really is. I'm not saying it would have beat him, but it just sent a little shudder through him, I think.
David Seaman with the kick towards Sheringham. Vega, Fergal, free kick to Switzerland. Moving ball when the free kick was taken. The referee not worried about that. Geiger finding Quentin. And now Ince. Fergal, and now Pearce. Gascoigne, a little almost arrogant flick with the outside of the boot. Ince again. Sforza beaten there by Ince. Was almost pulled back for him. It was a good advantage played by the referee, and Shearer's trying to take full advantage of it. Shearer's shots wide of the goal.
Yeah, Shearer just had one thing on his mind here, Brian. He's got the goal. It's given him a boost to his confidence. Not that I think he needs it, because he builds himself up, and he's targeting the back man, and he's going to get a shot in here, and he's the best in the world at this. Didn't quite get it right in the end, but still had the keeper scrambling across, a little bit worried.
McManaman. This time Janarek got the foot in at any rate. This is young Fergal. By Southgate. And they've all just got enough purchase on it. And as well for England that Seaman was off his line like Linford Christie. Sheringham. Quentin. Turco Mas.
he's disappointed with his touch there, and it was on his left, Brian. He's one of those players, if it doesn't go for him, he just stops and walks back. He doesn't go chasing round. But he is a threat. I think he's the biggest threat that Switzerland have got out there today.
I'm not noted as a great optimist, but I do get the feeling England might need a second goal. And here's McManaman, and here's Sheringham. Gets it back again to McManaman. Anderton's waiting in the middle. Shearer's in there too. Shearer got just a touch on it. And he gets the better of Geiger, but the ball has gone out of play. Goal kick. Just get that feeling we'll need a second goal, you know.
You always need a second goal, Brian. I mean, and as a coach and manager, whatever you want to call people who have the job of picking these teams, you don't mind a third one as well, just to make double sure.
Adams. Bang in the face for Yvon Canton. Petty dispute about where a free kick should be taken. When it's as deep as that, I'm sure a yard or two doesn't make a great deal of difference. But here's Vega for the Swiss, cut out by Gascoigne. Now Sheringham. There's Neville. Anderton down the flank. Anderton's got the better of Canton now. And finds Gary Neville with it. In turn for Paul Gascoigne, surrounded by red once again. He very nearly got the ball inside the full-back there for Anderton. Big Grassi has come back to help out. Adams finding Pearce. England trying to tighten the screw here a little bit. But Vogel will bring it away for the Swiss. Sforza. He's played Turkelmas. Southgate. That's a fine ball, but it sadly for England hit Shearer on the back. Sheringham. Anderton. No. Not quite on his game at the moment, Darren Anderton.
Well, it's not surprising, Brian. He's missed an awful lot of football, and today, unlike a couple of other games he's played, it looks like he has it. Just his touch, just his urgency, just sometimes his lack of awareness around people. But you know one thing, he certainly is capable of making goals out of nothing, and I think that's why Terry Venables will leave him on, even if it doesn't quite go for him.
The Swiss fans are chanting Chappie, Chappie. They want to see Chapuisat on, a striker of some renown of Switzerland. Plays for Borussia Dortmund with a good international record. I think they were very surprised that he wasn't chosen in the first place. But here's Bonvin making good strides, and Grassi. No foul. Adams bumped into him. The referee spread his arms. And England get a goal kick.
Great defending there from Adams. I mean, a lot of young players might have dived in. He just brushed him aside, and that was the end. It was never going to be anything other than a goal kick. I must say, Brian, I've never seen a lot of Schwarzer just odd times. I've been disappointed with him so far. I just thought he would have more of an effect on this game. But he certainly, I agreed with what the panel said at half-time. I think it was Brian Barnes, he said that Gaza has certainly won the midfield battle. I think he has.
Yes. Ince battling. Canton turning it back. Adams there with a header. Skillfully guiding it sideways now for Gary Neville, who's looking very mobile down this right flank is Neville. Gascoigne. Into the path of Anderton. Shearer's gone on ahead of him. McManaman's come into the box. Sheringham's in the box. But so too were a whole clutch of Swiss defenders. And Bonvin brings it away for the Swiss. Turkomaz. He's the one who can cause us problems. And he's whipped a good cross in here, but Seaman has spotted it well. Anderton urged on by the England fans now. Gascoigne coming across to support him. Played it for Sheringham. Now for McManaman. Facing Jenner again. Pearce. Gascoigne's in the middle for him. Shearer's here. Gascoigne's here. That's a goal kick. Don Howe alongside Terry Venables there.
I think Don Howe will be very pleased as well the way it's gone, because defensively, apart from the first 10 minutes when we had a couple of scares, we really have looked in control. And your point about Gary Neville is, he really is a tremendous acquisition at right back, because he can play centre half as well.
Yes, yes. Anderton. Gascoigne. Swiss thought it was handball. The referee had a good view and said no. Here's Shearer. Just wide.
Again, looking for the shot all the time, looking to make the keeper make a save, and just a yard wide. But he's looked a different player today to the one we've seen the last 4 or 5 games, because this is a real game, Brian, and some players need real games. He's a big game player. That's what Alan Shearer thrives on.
Turkomaz, I thought for a moment, was getting in behind the English defence. He's the man who spells danger for us, without any doubt. And if Chapuisat comes on as well, fresh legs, there could still be problems that Arthur George and his backroom team could create for England on the field. Bonvin with the throw. Turkomaz again. Southgate has closed on him quickly. Look at that, you see. Look, in the end he's given it away, but there were some lovely touches there from Kubalay Turkomaz. Now Gascoigne, can he match those turns? Oh, he's played a ball, he flicked it and he couldn't quite reach Shearer with it, but it'll be an England throw.
The Swiss have been very ragged at times, haven't they, Brian? You know, there again, good possession from the mistake from Gascoigne trying to find Shearer, but they've given it straight back out of play, and they've not really kept the ball as well as I'm sure they're capable of. Maybe the occasion, maybe England have harried them a little bit too much, but their passing has gone astray far too often.
Gascoigne. England's free kick. Taken quickly by Paul Gascoigne, finding Steve McManaman. Gascoigne again. Chipped into the path of Neville. Crowd wanted him to go forward. Neville knew, he thought he knew best. Adams is there. And he's there again, but England have conceded the free kick, and Neville's gone down. Clutching his left knee.
You could hear in the crowd there a little bit, Brian, exactly what we were saying before. The second goal, it will calm the nerves of the crowd down. When they start to give it away or even pass it back, they start to feel the tension as well. The fans feel the tension just the same as the players.
I suppose if by any chance he has to go, there's Brian Robson calling Steve McManaman to him, and the first aid quartet are coming on with a stretcher. If you remember in the World Cup, if you need, there's Gary Lineker at the back. If you need treatment, then the treatment has to be given off the field. I thought it worked well in the World Cup. It was allowed to go a little bit to one side, and as Gary goes off, Philip Neville looks as though he might come on. Brother for brother.
I thought the way he went down there, Brian, he was hurt quite badly. You know, he stayed down. That's always a bad sign.
So England at the moment down to 10. Fergal. Just coming up to a quarter of an hour of the second half. Henshaws. Sforza to Henshaws. Geiger just ahead of him. Grassi in there. He's found Grassi. The shot, Grassi. There'll be problems here. Pearce did marvels again for England there. That looked really, really dangerous.
That's a super turn for a big man. His own player, Bonvan, didn't really help him other than barge across somebody.
But Pearce just threw himself at that situation. Gary Neville's back on the field again. And the Swiss have a corner. Vega's up there again from the back. Henshaws is in there too. England need to defend well from this. It was the head of Tony Adams that has given them a little bit of time anyhow, and it's the head of Terry Sheringham that time. And Teddy Sheringham again. Comes out as far as Fergal. Swiss with a lot of players up for this one. Still with Fergal. He's done well here. Turkelmaz. Don't let him get onto that left foot. Oh. Straight to Seaman. But again, you can see the threat is there. Excellent play by young Fergal. The end product again came from Turkelmaz. A lovely turn onto that left foot. Henshaws beating Shearer in the air. Shearer. Anderton taking it on. Will he get to it? No, just over. McManaman. Getting it to Sheringham. McManaman's gone down the flank there, and Sheringham found him beautifully. Not a good cross.
He's very unpredictable, isn't he? Just there where you really wanted him to hold it up, because no one could really have got with him. They broke so quickly, him and Sheringham. And he knocked it in first time, and then he's looking for people to be in there. But he's so exciting for me.
Adams with a header. Shearer. Ince. Anderton. Ince has stayed well forward. Here he is. Shearer's there as well. And he really battled away through there, but there must have been a touch of handball as he did it. England's goal scorer. Much more than a goal scorer. Terry Venables will tell you the way Shearer's game has developed so much that he draws so many other people into the play now. Which is really what Sheringham does as well, to be fair. Quentin just getting the ball forward there towards Grassi. Neville got there first. Henshaws. And Geiger back. Sforza. Broke very conveniently for Adams. Gascoigne. And Just a little muted in this second half, Gascoigne, and seems to be playing just that little bit deeper. But here's McManaman. He's surging forward. Sheringham's waiting in the middle for him. Shearer's in there too. And it didn't quite come for Shearer. Might it come yet for Sheringham? No. Vega got it away. Up towards Grassi. Kept in play again by Steve McManaman. Jenere gets it up. Shove in the back. And Southgate on big Marco Grassi. Kick not taken from the right spot. Spanish referee very annoyed. Here's Hentros. Southgate hammering it away.
He's just whispering to his co-coach there, dare I put Chappie on, you know, because that's what the fans want. And he is a dangerous player, Brian, and he probably is unfortunately left out.
And he'll bring him on, don't worry. To be fair to Arthur George, Chapuisat's had real problems, as you know, Kevin, with cruciate knee ligaments, and he's missed a fair bit of the season with Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, but then so has Tony Adams. Southgate's missed games, you know. But if you know they can perform at that level, it shouldn't worry you, you know, as long as their fitness is something near.
Vincent Adams not on the same wavelength just for a moment there. Sforza. Geiger, the captain. This should be the keeper's ball.
You know, apart from the chance that hit the bar from Grassi, David Seaman's had about 4 touches, all crosses, all very, very easy for him to handle. You know, the Swiss have not really got in that any shots at him, to be fair to Southgate and Adams. They've really protected him well whenever there's been any danger lurking.
Sforza. Quentin. Played in towards Grassi. Yes, he was offside. Double substitution. Chapuisat, number 11, indeed, is coming on, and so too is Collar.
Well, this is a good move from Arthur George, because really Switzerland are not firing on all cylinders, and he's you know, there's a good, what, 24 minutes left.
Nick Barnby stripping off as well. Here's Ince. Oh, will it come through for Anderton? Sheringham's, oh, and he pulled it back. Sheringham was just a yard or two further forward, just on the edge of the 6-yard area. And the Swiss breathe again. A free kick to Switzerland. Substitution being made. Chapuisat. Nick Barnby coming on. Well, it's Bonvin who's going off, and Chapuisat who comes on, which will please the Swiss fans. He is another dangerous customer. Up alongside Turkelmats, there could be problems. And I'm not sure whether they're making their substitution or not. Well, they're not at the moment because the play's going on. Swartz well wide. A double English substitute about to come up. Steve Stone, I would guess, for Darren Anderton. And Barnby?
Maybe for Sheringham. I mean, I don't know, really. It baffles me, that one, but certainly.
Tony Adams out.
These new boards are not working, are they? That's for the Swiss one, Brian, that one. See, this is modern technology for you. Nobody really knows what's going on.
In the old days, when they held up painted boards, you knew where they were. But this is now Swiss as Geiger's going off. And Koller now comes on.
This is another change they've made, Brian, for me, that there was absolutely no need for. The old way was fine, but you've got to get computers or something involved in it. I mean, what's happening here?
Teddy Sheringham's going off. That's what's happening here for Nick Barmby. Barmby, who scored a couple of excellent goals on the China trip.
We're going to be here till midnight while they work out that new machine, Brian.
It's Barmby, isn't it? Steve Stones.
For McManaman.
Or McManaman. Well, we thought it was for Anderton, but...
Anderton's going over to the left, Brian.
Yep.
Which I think is more effective there, I must be honest. McManaman's had a great game, though, and it can only be that Terry wants to save him, I think.
Here's Stone, who made his debut against the Swiss last November and scored on that occasion. Here's Neville. England need this second goal. I've got this feeling in my water that 1-0 is not going to be enough. Southgate. Gascoigne. Anderton's gone swarming inside. It'll be a goal kick. You can be sure, up and down the country, all the players and the coaches taking part in Euro 96 are watching this transmission this afternoon. I just wonder what impressions the England side will be giving them, Kevin. What will be Bertie Vogts, for example, and the managers up and down the country? What would they be thinking?
I think they'll be quietly impressed. They won't be overboard. I mean, it hasn't been a fantastic performance so far, but you know, we've had one or two players play well. We know that some other players are going to come into it and play better. And I would think in Steve McManaman, who's gone off, they would say he's a player that if they hadn't heard of before, they certainly will say that now there is a world-class player. And I think he looks that on this stage.
And yet we've taken him off.
We're saving him, Brian, for the big matches to come.
Right. Benchos. Koller. Neville hitting it straight to Vega. Sforza. Benchos. Stone blocked that well and bravely. Because I don't think Monsieur Quentin is somebody to mess with. Benchos. Stone again in there. Leaving it for Southgate. To guide it wide to Anderton. To hit it long for Shearer.
Vega's played very well at the back for them, Brian, hasn't he? I've not seen anything of him before, but he certainly he's a big, strong boy, but he's also very comfortable with the ball, and I would say of all their players, he's the one who's certainly impressed me most.
There's buzz that he might be going to Auxerre, the French champions. And in the touch again, England just for the moment have lost their little bit of rhythm.
Yeah, not to be unexpected because the changes will affect them, but they'd lost it before the changes, to be fair, Brian. Last 15 minutes, really all the second half, they'd never found a shape, never found it easy to get out with the ball. And Gascoigne's the one we need on the ball, and he's gone very, very quiet along with a few other players.
Just kept in play there by Tekielmas. No, it wasn't. Flag was up, he thought he'd done it.
Opening games usually set standards for tournaments, and a lot of times they disappoint you. And I hoped today and really thought we'd see 3 or 4 goals. But unlike you, I'm the eternal optimist, Brian.
Well, the Swiss are still fairly optimistic because they've got 3 out-and-out men up front now. Chapuisat, Grassi and Tekielmas, supported here by Vogel. This is a good break by the young player. Down he goes, but there was no foul. driven there by Köhler, straight to the English defence. And the England fans are finding their voices to wake up their side at the moment. Up goes Pearce, wins it in the air. Gascoigne trying to get back there. And, well, Chapuisat with a good shot, just wide. And there is an added threat now for England. It's a goal kick.
On his favourite left foot, but again, just got underneath it.
12 goals he scored in his 46 caps for Switzerland. And just won championship medal again with Dortmund in Germany. This is not over yet. Stone. Neville gets it back to Seaman. Significantly, it's the Swiss fans who are making most noise now. Benchos. Generet. He'll be pleased the McManaman's gone. Sforza. Playing it in, a nice little touch there. Grassi almost got on the end of it. These are worrying times for England. Benchos again. Well, if not worrying, they're certainly tense. Kola, substitute. Little touch there for Chapuisat. Turkelmaz is in the middle. Ince very quickly there. And it's England's throw. Come on, says Ince. We've got to get our act together again. Gascoigne. Stone. No, it's a Swiss throw now.
Yeah, it's at times like this that they're going to need the leadership qualities of the Adams and Inces and the Stuart Pearces, because there's no doubt about it. As an attacking force at the moment, we look almost spent and a little bit devoid of ideas. And it's the Swiss who are getting the confidence to launch maybe a final flurry.
Still a quarter of an hour left. A crucial quarter of an hour, really, for England's European Championship hopes. Here's Chapuisat being challenged, but being beaten by Neville. Whips the cross in. As well for England that Southgate was well placed. Gascoigne to Stone, to Neville, finally to Shearer. Gascoigne again. Played inside for Stone. And whipped to Barmby on the far side.
Very, very difficult to come on at Wembley and find your range so quickly.
Another substitution. David Platt coming on for Paul Gascoigne.
I think this is a very good move. I mean, Gascoigne's done okay, don't get me wrong, but at the moment we need someone like Platt just to maybe steady us down with Ince in the midfield, and of course, hopefully, do what he's best at, and that is get us a goal. It'll put this match well and truly in our hands.
Well, he scored 27 times for England in his 58 appearances. Only 7 players in an England shirt have scored more. But he's another of those players with captaincy qualities. And the going is getting just a little hot out there for England. But Platt missed that one. It's Collar again. Got a neat left foot on him. It's big Henshaws. Up to Chapuisat. Both of them playing in the German Bundesliga. Free kick given to Switzerland, and nothing at the moment going nervy England's way. These are difficult times. Vega's gone up again from the back. The Swiss, their crowd are hopeful now. Sforza's free kick. There's the curler, but this time way, way beyond where it needed to go. Goal kick.
It's quite cool up here where we're sitting, but I figure it must be an awful lot hotter down there,
well,
Kevin, and maybe that stamina's beginning to...
It gets hotter the worse you play as well, Brian.
That's right. Here's Barmby, played inside towards Stone. Thought he just got the touch there. That was a great piece of play by Barmby, and Stone had that golden touch against Switzerland last time here in November. And I thought for a moment we were going to get a repeat.
Great ball from Barmby, very difficult to defend, and probably looks to me like it should have been a corner, Brian, but great ball in. Look at the problems it gives the defender and the goalkeeper.
England with 11 minutes left. Almost feel like saying to survive, because the Swiss are looking increasingly dangerous. Their confidence is growing. As Ince chases Collar, Pascolo gets it forward. Adams with a header. Barmby with the touch. Shearer. Stone. It's a lovely cross in, but Vega met it well. Been a good defender today, Vega. Barmby. Oh, Ince missed that challenge badly on Penchos.
The only thing that really is helping us is they haven't really hurt us with his possession so far. So,
good play by Vogel here. And a yellow card for Tony Adams, and a free kick right on the edge of the English penalty area. And with Sforza to take it, if he does,
it's very close to a penalty.
Very close. Yeah, the challenge was definitely outside, and it certainly merited the yellow card. But are England now to be punished further? Watch the number 10. He will be. Once or twice in critical games, David Seaman will be the first to say that he's been embarrassed by free kicks like this. I remember one in Rotterdam. And Arthur George is hoping that Sforza can do something about it now. This is a critical moment in the game, believe me. England ball back 10.
He's so fussy, this referee, Brian, isn't he? I mean, at least he's consistent. He's always fussy.
That extra yard back will give Sforza just a bit more movement to play with. This could be a problem, but he hits it straight at the wall. And Vogel's shot was no more than a yard wide. England breathe again.
Incredibly close, Brian. And you know, Fergal is the one player who we didn't talk much about, but he has got quite an influence on anything that the Swiss have done. And watch how close this is. Look at this.
My word. That little curve at the end was just enough for England. And now the English fans are trying to rally their troops. Shearer concedes the free kick. So the Swiss will come forward again. 8 minutes left. Penchos. England really back on their heels at the moment. Oh, Adams. They claim a penalty. It's given. A penalty for Switzerland. Conceded by Stuart Pearce. He was unlucky. He seemed to be protecting his face. But this is a major problem now for England.
He made the decision very quickly. And, you know, it's a poor header from Tony Adams, is it?
That's it. It was Tony Adams' header.
Turkelmaz has made it 1-1.
It's no more than they deserve, Brian. Last 15, 20 minutes, in fact, most of the second half, they've been the team that have put the passes together and they've looked more likely to get a goal. Having said that, I'd like to see the penalty again. it seemed to happen so quickly. It looked a very harsh decision, but I'm English.
It was an excellently taken penalty. But you're right. There's the header by Gareth Southgate, actually. Well, that's a very harsh decision. And now there's some problems while we're looking at involving Ince and Grassi. And Grassi gets the yellow card. And England now have 6 minutes in which to get themselves back in the lead. But also to make sure they don't concede another one.
Yeah, I think everyone was saying beforehand, a draw is not a terrible result.
It's
but
not
a defeat certainly is.
It's not a good one, though, Kevin.
It's better than getting beat,
well,
though, you know.
Of course.
It still gives you a plan and a chance to look at the games and strive forward, but it won't be easy.
Pearce played in towards Shearer and towards Stone, but Quentin gets there first. It's knocked in again, and Henshaws gets that one away. Turkelmaz and Chapuisat. That's Chapuisat. Grassi. Out of play. England's throw.
I'll bet you anything you want, Brian. If Terry Venables could reverse maybe one decision he's made today, it would be to have McManaman back out on there, because he was the one player he did carry a threat, and now, you know, we're looking at him, and he can't carry a threat from where he is there talking to Jamie Redknapp.
Henshaws. It's an England ball. A throw to be taken by Gary Neville. And a good long throw it is. Anderton knocking it back for Ince. Played in by him. Pushed away by Prescolo.
Excellent save from the goalkeeper, just at the right height where you want it, but a good strike from Ince, going right in the corner of the goal.
Neville with a long throw. Played towards the near post. The keeper had it, lost it. That surely is a corner. A corner given.
He's given a goal kick, Brian.
He's given a goal kick. Anderton just played that back, and Ince, as you say, it was a good strike. He was a little bit off balance, and the keeper spotted it late and did the necessary.
Just at the nice height for him, though, Brian. Otherwise, had it been in the top corner, believe you me, he wouldn't have made it so comfortably.
A little flick on. Chapuisat's going through. Southgate got it away.
To be fair to Arthur George, he's put Chapuisat on the pitch. He's played three up front. He's taken a very positive attitude. We said before, and he was a negative coach.
But when he saw the tide was turning, he put the three on, and he put Chapuisat up and the three up, and it's really paid off for him.
You're in a no-win situation, because if Chapuisat comes on and turns the game, it doesn't make you look good either as a coach. That's right. You've got to have some guts.
Collar. Adams gets there just before Fergal. Anderton chasing, knocks the ball forward to Shearer. Shearer's first touch let him down. Neville. Sforza. Here's this danger man again. Turkelmas. Grassi waiting in the middle. Chapuisat's in there too. They get a corner. Inside the last 3 minutes. And England really wanted the ball at the other end. Shearer's come back to help out, but Vega's gone forward, and the Swiss are taking their time taking the corner. It'll be Sforza who takes this one. Henshaws there, Grassi there, Vega there, all big six-footers, Chapuisat and Turkelmas in there. England really have to defend well from this corner. Well, Shearer got his head to it. Collar, Adams there. Vega. Chapuisat, stopped though by Pearce. Here's Ince. That's a yellow card now for Vega. Make it the 6th of the afternoon.
Just a normal day's work for Mr. Ramon Vega, because he does like a yellow card. But he is consistent, Brian. Players know where they stand with him, because do anything wrong, it seems, apart from the first 30 seconds or a minute of a game from when we've seen him, he gets the yellow cards out.
Right, now can England pull this game round? Up goes Shearer. Gets there a fraction before Barnby. Does Marco Pascola. Ince. Flat. No. Won't even be kept in play. It'll be a Swiss throw. Chapuisat. Oh, goodness, there are problems here. And a good save. Well, I'm not sure whether Grassi actually hit the target with it. Whether, yes, Seaman got down.
Great save. Chapuisat's so good on this left foot. Good ball. Great strike. And David Seaman, I think, it was a crucial save. Low down.
Into the last minute of the game. Chapuisat there. A deeper one this time. Nodded down. And Seaman almost bowled Pearce out of the way to get to it. And England just want to get the ball forward. It'll really be one last chance of winning this game.
I never thought I would say this, but I think Terry Venables will be delighted to hear the final whistle, because they're in the ascendancy. They're the team that look likely to win this game. And we're just hanging in, we're treading water.
Ince. Pearce with the kick. The last throw for England. Referee's already looked at his watch once. Up goes Pascola. Good handling in a difficult situation. Pascola gets there first. Crowd were feeling that Shearer had been pulled back. There's Seaman. Comes to Pearce. An afternoon that had started so full of promise, particularly when Alan Shearer broke the drought that he had suffered for 2 years without a goal. And then suddenly the Swiss got more and more into the game. A harsh penalty it seemed, but maybe at the end a draw that they were justified in getting.
It was only a harsh penalty because it wasn't going in the goal. It was going way over the top, and I don't think Stuart Pearce could get out of the way, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Southgate, can England yet pull it back? Stone. Barmby's in there. Platt's in there. Desperate to try and get it back in that box again. But the Swiss equally determined to get it away. Up to Turkilmaz. Chapuisat's gone streaking through the middle. Southgate's header. Platt to take it up again. The final whistle's gone. Well, it's a draw. Terry Venables A sharp intake of breath there. He's not happy with that result. There's no hiding the fact it is a hugely disappointing result, and certainly as far as England was concerned in the second half, a disappointing performance. The very least now, of course, they must get a victory either over Scotland or against Holland, and after today there's some serious work to be done. Alan Shearer, the scorer for England in the first half. Turkelmaz from the penalty spot after Stuart Pearson handled for Switzerland in the second half. 1-1 the final score here at Wembley.
Hello, welcome back to Wembley Stadium, and the crowd is drifting away from what has been a really disappointing second half performance by England. It's finished 1-1 here in the opening game of Euro 96, and Alex, it was a disappointing England second half.
Well, it's the old story about the name of the game in Europe. You get in front, you keep the ball as long as you can. Keep the ball away from them, and by giving the ball away, we allowed Switzerland to get a tempo in their match. And the minute they quickened the tempo, England had so many problems. Whereas in the first half, McManaman was a great threat for England in terms of possession of the ball and keeping forcing the game towards the edge of the penalty box. The second half, the little boy Vogel transformed the game for Switzerland. Yeah. No one could control him.
OK, penalty or not, John?
I thought it was a bit harsh, but I think the fact that David Seaman was off his line, if you see David's coming for the ball here, very harsh to give, but I don't know whether that would have actually gone in the goal. So I thought it was a harsh decision. But I think they deserved it in the second half. I
think they did. Well, let's hear from the England coach, Terry Venables. He's down there with Gary Newbon.
Terry, I've been in the position to see the replay twice. It was a very harsh penalty decision. Pearce doesn't even seem to know it's going to hit him.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a penalty. In saying that, we haven't played well second half. We're dead on our feet, and both teams looked very tired the second half, and it just looked like it was going to fizzle out to hopefully a 1-0. But it's a disappointment. It's not the result we were looking for, but in saying that, we felt it was a very harsh penalty.
What was wrong with the performance in the second half, do you think?
I thought we did well enough first half, and going on to perhaps a better game, and we just didn't play. Our passing was poor, and we've got to get that better.
So the pressure's now on to get a win, having thought you might get one in this first match.
Well, you can never tell. I mean, the game, you can't say that you're going to win. We hoped to win, and we felt we could win. We were confident, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, some interesting observers up in Birmingham, because that's where Scotland are preparing for their opening game against Holland. Let's join now John Collins and Ali McCoist. Ali, first of all, your view on that game, England's performance?
I think it was pretty much a bit of a statement game of two halves, the usual cliche, Bob. I think England started very well, very promising. I thought Gascoigne was very influential, as was McManaman. They looked very solid at the back with Adams and Southgate looking good, very dependable and hard there. And I think they got off to the perfect start with Shearer scoring a wonderful goal. And of course the second half started a bit the opposite, if you like. Switzerland came far more into the game, and albeit a bit of a dodgy penalty, but I think just about deserved it on the run of play.
John, it must give you encouragement really for Scotland for the game here in a week's time.
Yeah, very much. The second half performance from Switzerland was very good. After the first half they were very disappointing. England dominated the game, but second half they showed that England are a little bit vulnerable.
John and Ali, I've got Alex Ferguson here. He'd just like a word with you.
Hey boys.
How you doing, Alex?
Hi.
Don't let me down next Saturday.
Don't you worry about it, you got a few quid on it?
Well, bankrupt if it was. How's everyone fit?
Yeah, the camp's feeling great, Alec. We've got fantastic facilities up here. The hotel's magnificent, and the training pitch is absolutely first class, so unfortunately we can't use them as excuses.
OK, then, so you're all looking forward to Monday?
Yeah, very much. It can't come quick enough now. The preparations have lasted about 3 or 4 weeks now, so we're just desperate to get started.
Jack, have you got anything to say to those two Scottish lads there waiting?
It's going to be very difficult in your opening game, but stick with it. It showed if you play a few balls behind him, you can get him in trouble. So just give it all you got. You'll help England.
OK,
you will.
John and Ali, we thank you very much for being with us there.
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, lads.
Now let's have a general overview of this performance. It was disappointing, to say the least, really, for England.
Yeah, particularly in the second half. First half we were fine, but as Alex made the point, In international football, when you're playing in Europe, you have to keep the ball. I think if England had kept the ball better in the second half, it wouldn't have given Switzerland any encouragement.
They were just giving it away all the time.
Giving it away too quickly. I think that we may not have actually gone on to hurt them, but at 1-0, it would have frustrated Switzerland, and they wouldn't have been able to get near us if we kept the ball. But unfortunately, the longer it went on, the more frustrated we became. We gave it back to them to encourage them. Jack, did I hear you being very critical of the fitness of the England lads?
I was very disappointed at the work rate of the midfield, yeah. I thought they gave the Swiss in the second half far too much room and time to settle, far too much time to see the last pass. I mean, the right back came into it all the game, and I couldn't believe the amount of room that he was having to just look up and make his passes, and they were playing 3 players through the middle on the edge of the box, and that sort of an incident is always liable to happen when you get that sort of a situation. They were trying to play the balls in behind England's centre-halves, and they were picking up the bounce-offs. And England's midfield, I thought, just stood and watch the balls go over them and go through them.
Were there any pluses at all for England, Alex? I mean, you mentioned with a wry smile that opening games are traditionally in big tournaments.
I think maybe there was a better game than you normally get in the first game, but the big bonus is that Alan Shearer's got himself back in goal scoring. That may be the best thing of all for England today.
Yes. So what have England got to do?
Well, we have to win our next match. You know, it's going to be a hard one against Scotland. I think that's the crucial match as it turned out. Today could have been the crucial one, but Saturday makes it doubly crucial.
OK. John, thank you all of you this afternoon. Well, England have not got the start they were so desperate for. Not 3 points, just 1 in the bag, and making the quarter-final knockout stage is a lot more difficult for them now. Nevertheless, a very dramatic and eventful start here at Wembley Stadium. You've seen it all only on ITV. We do hope you've enjoyed it. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.